We've never seen this before. In a day where not too much MLB action went down, Jackson Chourio was the name and the moment that stood alone at the top. So I'll break that down and much more in this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, and today we're going to be discussing the history-making moment that Jackson Chourio had yesterday. The Milwaukee Brewers standout rookie is one of the main reasons why they're in first place in the NL Central, and he's been as good as advertised. He got a big contract before even stepping foot on a Major League Baseball field. And man, has he really stepped it up and been the player that we all thought he could be. Before we get into the video, I want to let you know that about 97% of you guys are not subscribed that are watching right now. So hit the subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it means the world to me. Let's try to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're on the road there, and we're getting closer and closer every single day. So make sure to hit the subscribe button for more MLB daily content, because I'm going to be pumping that out for you guys. But let's get straight into it. Let's take a look here. Jackson Chourio is the first player ever to secure a 2020 season in the big leagues as a 20-year-old. Mike Trout came oh so close in 2012, hitting home run number 20 on his 21st birthday. So a bit of an asterisk there. Like Mike Trout could have had it on his 20th when he was 20, but it ultimately didn't happen. And Trout ended up having 30 home runs and 40-something odd stolen bases in his rookie year. So I'm not comparing the two players, but Jackson Chourio is technically the youngest to ever accomplish the feat. So congratulations to him. But what really stands out to me is his impact that he has had on the winning of the Milwaukee Brewers. And we take a look here at his stats for the season. 3.8 wins above replacement. He's batting .272, 71 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, 20 home runs, and an OPS just under 800. But that's because he's been struggling in the past couple of games. So it was over 800 for quite some time there. And you could just see his full value here as a player. I mean, he's in the 86th percentile for batting run value, the 97th percentile for base running value. He's one of the fastest guys in baseball. And the fielding in left field, I mean, it's not crucial, but he's a very good defender out there as well. But what really stands out to me about Jackson Chourio is the second half that he has been putting up. An OPS close to 1,000. He's batting over 300. He's got 11 home runs in the second half in 47 games. So he's really stepped it up, and he's gotten more comfortable as more games have gone by. And that's really the main thing here with Chourio. At the start of the season, you could see that he wasn't starting all the time. Like in the first half, he didn't start 9 of the games that he appeared in, and he was on the bench for a few games as well, batting lower in the order. He was in the 7, 8, sometimes the 9 spot. He wasn't really in a featured role for the Milwaukee Brewers, and they've been good ever since the start of the year, don't get me wrong, but ever since he's been inserted into that leadoff spot, into that number 2 spot in the order, you could see that his numbers have jumped up, and with more responsibility that came his way, better performances also were the result of that. So it's been very impressive to watch Jackson Chourio go about his business and getting better with each passing day. And like I mentioned earlier in the intro, he signed an 8-year deal, something like that, without having even played a single game in the major leagues. Like, that's how highly the Brewers thought of this guy. And the early returns weren't so great, but he's a 20-year-old rookie, and he's going to have his struggles, and he's still struggling right now. Like, this is just him scratching the surface of the ball player that he can be in the near future. And what I think he can be is an MVP candidate year in, year out. Maybe not if Shohei Ohtani keeps doing what he's doing, but he's definitely going to be in the mix for the Rookie of the Year award, even though I think that's a two-man race between Jackson Merrill and Paul Skeens. But if Jackson Chourio played in a bigger market, I feel like he would get a lot more love in those polls and in those betting odds for the Rookie of the Year race. But probably just not going to be the case there. It's been very fun to watch. I have him on my fantasy team, luckily. It's a redraft league, though, so I'm not going to have him for next year unless I spend an early draft pick on him. And he's going to be a very valuable player fantasy-wise and for the Milwaukee Brewers, too. Like, he is crucial to what they're doing. I love what he does out there in left field. He's solid, doesn't make too many mistakes. He's got a good arm on him as well. And just a very good player. That's it. Like, the stats do not lie. Like, take a look at that. 3.8 wins above replacement as a 20-year-old rookie, and he's not going to turn 21 until the start of spring training next year. Like, that's how young he is. And you see that 8-year, $82 million deal. That's a lot of commitment. That's a lot of money to a guy that hadn't had any experience. And I know you're buying out his arbitration years and you're buying out 2 years after that, but it's very nice to see the commitment that he made to the team as well, because it is a lot of money. But for a guy with that amount of talent, it's not an exorbitant amount. Like, we saw the same thing happen with the Arizona Diamondbacks, where they locked up Corbin Carroll for the foreseeable future. I believe it was around 10 years as well. And that's a gamble on both sides. Like, the player could definitely outplay that value over the course of that contract, but the team could also lose out too if he doesn't perform up to snuff, and then you're having to pay him millions and millions of dollars for a lack of performance. So there's pressure on both sides when a contract like that is agreed upon, and Jackson Chourio has delivered, and he seems to want to be the best. Like, he looks like he's having a ton of fun out there every single day. I'm glad that the Brewers are letting him sort of run free and be the player that he can be. They were sheltering him a little bit in the first half, and I think that's fine. He needed to get his feet wet in the big leagues before being tasked with so much responsibility. But now you could see that he's comfortable. He knows that he belongs in the big leagues. And for a playoff team to trust a rookie in the leadoff spot every single night, and you got to believe that that's not going to change once the playoffs roll around, that's very impressive. So shout out to Jackson Chourio. Shout out to the Milwaukee Brewers as well. Hopefully they can go on a deep run and show that small market teams can win with in-house talent and with homegrown talent. They lost Corbin Burnes in the offseason. A lot of people were picking the Chicago Cubs to go out there and win the NL Central. It's the Milwaukee Brewers division yet again, despite losing Corbin Burnes, who is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And they've done it the organic way. They've done it the right way by locking up their guys, by making sure that they keep their prospects happy and in town, and I couldn't be happier for the Milwaukee Brewers. So hopefully they go on an extended run and we get to see this exciting team just go at it for a few more weeks in the playoffs. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. Really appreciate the support. Again, make sure to hit the subscribe button, because 97% of you who are watching are not subscribed, so it would mean the world to me. It's free yet again. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, and thank you to Baseball Town as well for all of the support. They're your one-stop shop for everything that you need baseball or softball related. They got 3 locations in Canada, and if you're not close to there, you can order online. They ship worldwide. One-stop shop for everything that you need, whether it's bats, gloves, batting gloves, cleats. They got you covered. The most competitive equipment at the best prices. So check them out today, and I'll see you guys next week.